Welcome to another video segment of the Up North Journal. What we're going to do today is show you how to build a wood duck box. And we've already pre-cut all of our material. We've got 6 pieces to make our wood duck box. And what we bought was a 12-foot long 1x10. And we've got the floor, which is 7 3/4 long. And the roof is 14 inches. We've got the front, which is 23.5. 2 sides 23.5, and actually the back here, which is 31 inches. What's different about the actual front, this is the inside of the front. We took a circular saw and cut these grooves in here. And what this is for is to allow the ducklings, when they're younger, before they get ready to fly out of the box, they can actually use these as toe holes to climb up and out of the box. And we've already went ahead and pre-marked our hole to be cut here. And what's a little different than a regular birdhouse on a wood duck box is this is going to be an oval shaped. It's 3.5 inches down to the top of the hole from the top of the roof, and then the hole itself is going to be 3 inches tall and 4 inches wide. And I've got a circle hole cutter here, and I used that to lay out the 2 different holes, and then I just drew a line between them there to connect the tops to make the oval. So we'll get right to it here and show you how we're going to do this. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to start one of the holes here and not drill completely through, but then we'll start the second hole and actually drill completely through that. Then we can use a jigsaw to finish cleaning it up, and that'll actually give us our pattern. Okay, now we're going to use a saber saw, clean the rest of that hole out and follow that guide around of the hole that we didn't punch all the way through. We've got our oval shaped hole. Needs a little bit of cleaning up right there and there just to kind of smooth it out, but basically that's the oval hole for the wood duck. Okay, we're going to take and pre-drill our holes again like we did on the other episode for the ermine boxes, but if those of you who haven't seen that yet, basically what we're doing is putting a finish nail in and using it as a drill bit to pre-drill the nail holes. That way when you're close to the edge like that, it doesn't split the wood out. It's an old trick that my wood shop teacher taught me years ago. Basically we're putting them about 1.5 inches, 2 inches apart. A little over 1/4 inch in from the edge. A lot of guys will actually build these out of cedar. We looked for cedar, but we couldn't find any 1x10 cedar. They had 1x12, but it was quite costly. You can also build these out of plywood. If you use plywood or pine like this is, you'll actually have to take and put a protective coating of paint or some kind of stain on the outside, some kind of earth tone color, and that will protect the wood and keep the insects from eating it. But you don't want to use that on the inside of the box because that can be harmful to the ducks and the ducklings. I'll just get a couple nails started on each side here to just to kind of secure it. And just get a couple nails on this side here also just to kind of hold it in place. Okay, one thing we actually forgot to do, folks, is the one side that I tacked secure. We're actually supposed to put a screw in the top on the front and the back only, and one at the bottom to actually use as a door, a cleanup door. So I'm going to take this side back off and properly attach that. Okay, now as you can see, we got the side back off, and what we're going to do is actually put a couple screws. Put one in the front to the side, and then we'll put the back on. We'll put one from the back into the side, and that will allow it to pivot. But what we need to do first is we need to cut a bevel on this top edge here that will allow the door to swing freely when we open it up against the top side. I've cut about a 45-50 degree bevel edge right here, and what that'll do is once we drill and mount this side, here at the top, when we pull our pin out, we have a screw here on the front and back. This side will pivot open, and that cut there will allow it to pivot against the top. It'll keep it from binding up. So what we're going to do is drill a pilot hole here and put a screw in there. Drill a small pilot hole here, just through the actual front, and we'll put one in the back also. And you don't want to over tighten this part here, you just want to snug it. What's going to happen is it's got to pivot on that screw. And just a little snug there. Okay. Now we'll do the same thing with the bottom on the front, and that will actually be used as our pin. So when you go out after season and to clean this out, what you'll want to do is take a screwdriver with you to pull this out. That way you can actually take the screw out and clean the duck box out. And that one just gets snugged up nice and tight. Actually, before we put the bottom on, we're going to drill 4 or 5 holes completely through the bottom, and that way if there's any water gets in the duck box from rain, what have you, blowing through the opening, that it'll actually drain out, and that way it won't hold and trap water. So we just want to drill a couple little drainage holes through it. Okay, as you see here now, we got the bottom placed in the cavity on the bottom side of the box here. The thing you don't want to do is you do not want to nail this pivot side to the bottom. If you do, obviously you can't open the box. So we're going to secure the top, secure the fastened side, and then once we attach it to the back, we'll attach it to the back also. So it will not get attached along this edge. Okay, that's got that attached to the side now, and we can start attaching the back to it. Keep in mind of which side is going to be your swing door. And it would probably be best to go ahead and get that side secured first. And just so it pivots correctly, what I'd like to do here first, before we do that, is just measure up from the bottom to see where that pivot point is. And we're at 20.5. So we will measure up on the back side 20.5. Make sure that the 2 pivot points are actually in the same spot. Secure that just snug. That way it can pivot. Now we're going to pre-drill the bottom. Okay, now that's got the bottom attached, and just like the ermine trap box or weasel box we built, Michael has noted, looks like a gigantic turkey call, although I don't think the paddle's going to work on it. Basically, the roof sits on it like so, and just like the bottom, you'll attach it across the front, across the end, the secured end, and across the back. Remember, we have the swing door on this side over here, over on this side for our clean out. And you can see right here how that beveled edge is going to work when it actually opens up. It just basically keeps it binding against the roof there. So that's how that's going to work. So we'll pre-drill the top. Secure your corners. Alright. There is a wood duck box. We'll show you how this side panel door works here. Like so. It's hanging on a tree, pole, whatever. You get a hold of the bottom edge and it swings out, and it gives you access to clean out on the inside. Clean the nesting area out and put fresh nesting shavings inside. And what they recommend is 4 to 6 inches of shaved wood, something you'd use like for a pet's bedding area or guinea pig cage, something like that. You do not want to put sawdust in there. Sawdust will choke the ducklings and suffocate them, so it's one thing we don't want to do. So once you get that put back in, close the door, put your screw back in, and it's good to go for another season. Now we're going to talk about on our podcast about different places to put these, how to set them up, how to secure them, and ways to keep predators away from these boxes. And if you'd like to get a little information on that, you can go to our website, upnorthjournal.com, and there's a link on there to our podcast. And it's going to be a 4 or 5 week series on how to build a duck box, how to find a good area to put one in, how to secure it and keep the predators out of it, and make sure you put it in the right location. So that'll do it for another episode, a video episode of the Up North Journal. I'm your host, Mike Adams, and join us again next time.